have Mr. Louis Longchamps from the Agriculture Science Department. He's a young research scientist, and then we'll sum up the summit and have some felicitation. Please, Louis.
Hello. All right. Thank you very much. Yep. Picture. Yeah, I'll go ahead. All right. So I did a presentation earlier this morning in the other room, and I thought I should share something, another presentation with you, or another topic with you. So I'm in the research, governmental research side of things, rather than on the business side of things, and I would like to share with
Magic always looks so.
not this. I would like to share with you one of the big realization that I've come across in the recent couple of years that I've been since my new position at Agriculture and Agri-Food Canada. What I realized is that we need a huge paradigm shift in agricultural research. Okay, so far since the last 150 years, I would say, how research has been conducted in agriculture is that we would do small plots, and in those plots we would try to control all the factors, and then we would apply some treatments. Let's say I want to tell how much nitrogen should I apply in my corn. Then I will do plots, small plots, and repetitions. Try to control all the weeds, all the insects, all the diseases, irrigation and everything, and then I will apply 0, 50, 100, 150, 200%, 200 pounds per acre of nitrogen. Then I will replicate this, and then eventually I will find, okay, what is the optimal nitrogen rate? But now I just did that experiment in one location. So if I want to tell what should be the optimal rate for the entire province, Gujarat, let's say, then I would need to replicate this in space. And you know, like me, that no year is the same. Every season has something unique to it. So then I would need to replicate that over several seasons. But do you realize how much investment, how much resources are required to do such things? And then the worst is that at the end of that, the result that you have is very narrow. What if over 2 seasons you get the optimal rate is completely different, like by 100 pounds? Then you will want to do a third year, and the third year it's similar to the first year, but then what happened? So now you realize how limited the experimental approach is if you want to control the inputs in agriculture. Okay, so this is the realization that I did since I arrived. But did you know that there's another way to conduct research? It's just that we don't use that way in agriculture. The other way to do it is called observational science. So this is done in other fields of research, such as diet science. Let's say if you want to tell what is the best diet, what is the impact of a Mediterranean diet over North American diet on heart diseases. You cannot impose to an individual or a group of individuals to eat something for 50 years. So the best you can do is to go where people are eating that Mediterranean diet, and then go where people are eating that North American diet, and then compare both. But then you will have all sorts of noise. But to control, to know what you're looking at, you need to have all the metadata, the age and all that good stuff. So then you get to be able to conduct a research, and you get to be able to come to conclusions. So now what is going on is that we need to do this in agriculture. So how can we implement observational studies in agriculture? So in the past, farmers, researchers would have to go and collect all their data. Okay, so if I want to know what is the soil moisture in the field, then I would collect a small sample. I would weight it, then I would dry it, then weight it again, then I know precisely what was the moisture in that soil sample. And then if you want to know the yield, I would just go crush that corn, extract the kernels, put it on the scale, then I know what's the yield. But now if I want to do observational research, I need to go to every farm, get those data, and then I will be able to conduct my research. But then you understand what's going on is that lots of time data is not available. And this is where agri-tech comes into play again, is that we need to design strategies and invent solutions to go and collect those data. And the good thing with observational science, whoops, it's gone, is that you involve the farmers from the get-go. Because you see, there's in health research, there is one way of doing that is called strategic patient-oriented research. So what it does is that there will be a group of patients, you give them some medicine, and then they will voluntarily provide their feedback on that medicine. They could have some sensors on them and all that good stuff, and all that is going for that study, and then we can know much faster what is going on with that medicine. But with farmers, it could be the same approach, strategic farm-oriented research, and then farmers would voluntarily give their data to get much faster. Because what you need to understand is that if I want to let's say I want to design a threshold for the cucumber aphid in cucumber, let's make it simple. Okay, so if I see there's 0 aphids, that little bug, then I don't need to apply any insecticides. If I see there's thousands, then yes, I need to apply insecticides. But if there are like 11 aphids, then what do I do? So what farmers will do is that when they see aphids, they don't know how many aphids is too many aphids, so they will apply that insecticides. But if we have the data of how many, like if the farmers are providing the scouting data, how many aphids and their yield, then we can get all the data from everybody, link it to the weather data, and then be able to draw conclusions on how many aphids are too many aphids. So on that, I want to share one other important thing also for India is that experimental research has been used, like in Canada and in US, to design those thresholds. How many bugs are too much bugs? And this required so much investment that today we are not able to conduct those research anymore. But the thresholds that were developed in the early 90s, they're not good anymore because we have different bugs, we have different climates, so the bugs are arriving earlier, and they have multiple generations, and now we have different varieties than we had in the 90s. So even with all the resources that we used in the 90s, today this research is useless. So people don't use those thresholds anymore and apply insecticides like crazy, okay? So what I'm suggesting is that in India, you leapfrog that thing. You don't go to experimental research with plots to design thresholds. You go directly to observational research, and that will save you a lot of energy and resources. So that's all. I just wanted, I had a presentation, but I wanted to share something different because I don't like to do a same presentation twice. So I just wanted to share with you the difference between experimental science and observational science. And I think that observational science is the way to go, and this will require a lot of effort from agri-tech to collect that data. Thank you.